Well, it's been a couple of weeks, and the reason why is because, as you know, I am working on not a diet, but changing the way I eat. So, when you change the things that you eat, obviously your body goes through an adjustment period. I started off doing keto, and the first few days were fine, and then the keto flu hit. I sent my husband out to get some broth, and because I did not have enough, I didn't think it would hit me so fast, I guess. It kind of took me unaware, so I wasn't really prepared for it. So I had some broth, and within like half an hour I was feeling better, and then the next day I didn't go through any of the symptoms. I was going through nausea, and I broke out in chills like when you have a fever, but I didn't have a fever, and a headache. So that was my keto flu. Well, the broth and everything took care of it, and I continued drinking broth for the next couple days just to make sure that I didn't have an issue, but I never had an issue past that one night. However, after that, I had another issue pop up, and I know that all this is TMI, but it's part of when you're going through this. Okay, normally people that are on keto cannot use the bathroom. They have issues for a while until they start taking probiotics and such. I had the opposite effect. I could not stay out of the bathroom, and I started wondering if it was because my liver was not handling the high fat content. And so when the weekend came, I ate a couple carbs just to see what would happen. It wasn't horrible. I mean, like, I had a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit for breakfast from Jack's, which is also weird because I don't normally eat breakfast anymore with my intermittent fasting, but on the weekends, it was a later, I still stayed my intermittent fasting, but I shifted my time period for the weekend. And so that was like 26 carbs. And then I had pizza. So the pizza was fantastic, I'm not going to lie. But that was obviously way more carbs than I needed. But it cleared up the issue that I was having. So I was like, So then but then I kind of felt bad because I was like, I need to get back in keto and make sure that I'm good, because I don't want carbs to start sneaking back into my lifestyle. So then I went back very strict keto, making sure I was pretty much putting butter on freaking everything. I was cramming avocados, which I love avocados. I can eat an avocado every day and be fine, but with the avocados and the eggs and the oil and I was like sauteing all my vegetables in olive oil because I don't have coconut oil right now. With that, and then putting butter on everything, I think that my liver went into, oh my god, this is too much fat overload, and I ended up back in the bathroom again yesterday, and it was a nightmare. And I was just like, I think that my body cannot handle the high fat of keto. Some people can handle it, some people can't. Now, I know in the comments some people might say, well, if you take probiotics or you do this or you do that, that's fine, you know. I know that I need to go get some probiotics because I have gut health issues anyway, so I need to get my gut healthy. I've got sauerkraut on the list. If you eat a couple spoonfuls of sauerkraut or forkfuls of sauerkraut every day, that also helps your gut bacteria. You need to eat fermented foods, I know that. But what I've decided to do is do paleo keto. First I was like, well, I'm just going to try lazy keto. And then the lazy keto, which means I wasn't counting every little carb, but I was still trying to keep it within a 25 or below window. But I don't know. I'm sure that I've done everything wrong. I do not have a doctor, so I can't go and get all these blood tests done and see what's wrong right now. But sometimes changing the way you eat and changing your lifestyle just is all about, what's going to work and doing different things and finding out what works for you. What works for Joe Schmo might not work for, Nancy Nice or whatever. But for me, I'm going to try paleo, but I'm still... The things that I don't like about paleo is like, it's still a lot of meat. It's still good vegetables, but it's not the high fat, which I think is where my problem came in. And they allow fruits and tubers or no added sugars. For me, I'm no sugar at all. I mean, my stomach was so bad last night, I had to send my husband out to get me some bananas because that's the only thing that stops that kind of issue with me is bananas and rice. So I had a banana, which I know is sugar, but I'm trying to stay away from... I know that on paleo you can have fruits and, don't eat processed sugar. But to me, avoiding sugar altogether is probably one of the best things that I can do. It's probably one of the best things that anybody can do, honestly. I think a piece of fruit here and there, a banana here and there, or a piece of fruit. Definitely watermelon's good for you. Watermelon and cantaloupe are like the lesser of all evils, I think. Although I don't know how much sugar cantaloupe has in it. But anyway, fruit juices are a no-no. So a lot of people go on paleo and they think, oh, well, I can have fruit. And they start pounding back fruit juices and smoothies. Fruit juices and smoothies and yogurts are not good for you people. They're not good because they are freaking loaded with sugar. Fruit juice is... How do they get fruit juice? They take the fruit and they extract the juice from it and then they add sugar to it. So what happens is you've pulled all that sugar water out of the fruit, but you're not getting any of the fiber and any of the benefits from that fruit. So you're taking out the good, you're taking out the bad to drink, and you're leaving the good to throw away. And that just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm doing 0 fruit juices, very few fruits, and as much as I am a potato hound, I'm still going to try to stay away from potatoes. I may allow myself, if I'm out at a restaurant, I may allow myself a small serving of roasted potatoes if it comes with my vegetables or whatever. But potatoes, no, I mean, starchy foods are so bad. And it's hard for me because I just recently discovered roasted sweet potatoes and how much I freaking love them. Because I always grew up that if you had sweet potatoes, they had to have marshmallows and all this, all that junk on there that just makes them horrible. And so I stayed away from sweet potatoes for a long time, but then I discovered roasting them with savory herbs and salt, and they're so good, y'all. But that's my thing. It's not hard for me to stay away from ice cream and stuff. It's hard for me to stay away from potatoes. But I've seen a lot of things about people on paleo don't lose weight, and it turns out because they're allowing themselves beets and potatoes and sweet potatoes and all this stuff, all these starches, and they're loaded with carbs, they're loaded with sugar. Starch breaks down into glucose or sugar or whatever the heck is. I'm not a doctor, but I know that stuff breaks down and it's not good for you at all. So, and it's really sad because I've seen some people online, and even I've known some people in person that are like, oh, I'm going to go healthy shopping, and they come home with bags full of potatoes and wheat bread. Bread is not acceptable at all, y'all. It's just... Grains are inflammatory. You shouldn't eat it. So I'm not really having a problem staying away. The only problem I have staying away from grain is I like cereal. And cereal is processed junk, but that's hard to stay away from, but I'm going to because I have already, okay, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you what I have noticed what's changed and what I haven't noticed that's changed. But first, let me say, what I was finished saying was people come home and they've got bread and they've got fruit juices and they've piled on yogurts and fruit cups. None of that stuff is good for you. None of that stuff is good for you. People are so programmed to look at, now if that's the way you want to eat, fine, don't bless me out in the comments. You know, this is my journey, all this stuff is my opinion. I'm not a freaking doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. This is just where I'm coming from. But people have been so programmed to look at, oh, it's gluten-free, it must be great for me. And they don't look at the carbs. Or, oh, this says low sugar, or this says sugar-free, and they don't look at the carbs. Or they'll say, oh, this has got very low calories. Don't really matter. What matters is the carbs that you're intaking, the fat that you're intaking. Now, you don't have to do like super high fat like keto, but the fat that you're intaking, making sure that you're getting good fats, staying away from things like vegetable oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. Stay away from stuff like that. It's not good for you. Changes that I have noticed. Are, I started doing this changing my diet and lifestyle journey on March the 12th. And since March the 12th, it has not even been a month. Today is what, the 3rd? April 3rd, yeah. So since March the 12th, I have lost a ½ inch in my neck. I'm not going to talk about my chest, but I've lost a ½ inch in my neck. I've lost an inch in my waist, an inch in my hips, and an inch and a half in my flabby arms. And that makes me happy. I've lost a total of 5 pounds, but, which still makes me happy. That's 5 pounds in less than a month from eating healthy. And I've been trying to implement, now that it's warmed up, I've been trying to implement walking again. And I'm doing the fitness blender ab exercises on YouTube. But when I remember, okay, I don't do them every day. I'm horrible about exercise. But the fact that I'm losing inches and it's noticeable and measurable means more to me even than 5 pounds. I have noticed since I've made this diet change, really the only bad thing that I've gone through is the intestinal upset. And that has only been a few times, but it was still enough for me to realize that I needed to tweak what I was doing. I'm starting to get a very slight headache right now because we have a really bad storm coming in and I'm sensitive to barometric pressure changes. But I have noticed in the last, I'll call it a month, I'll round up and call it in the last month since I've done this diet change, I have not had, have I had any migraines? I think I had one migraine when I first stopped the sugar, and I've had in the beginning, I've had a couple of, when I was going through the Keto Flu and stuff, I had a couple, 2 or 3 days of headaches, but that weren't like the kind of headaches where I can tell when they're starting to turn into a migraine. I start feeling nauseous and I can't focus on anything. It wasn't that. It was just like, ugh, frick, I got a headache. And for me, that's amazing because I am normally going through several. I have logged up to 18 migraines in a month before. So I'm really bad with headaches and migraines all the time. And my headaches and migraines have already like went from here to here. And that is an amazing, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a phrase, quality of life. My quality of life has already gone up because of that. And I've only had heartburn one time. So there, another quality of life just went up, because I am used to sitting up in bed every night popping Tums, because as soon as I try to lay down, I can't breathe because of my heartburn. I can't roll over this way because of my heartburn. I'm propping myself up with pillows and I'm up all night long. And I'm not now. So that in and of itself is amazing. So basically what I'm doing, everything in a nutshell, what I'm doing is I'm still doing a lot of meat. I've cut down the actual fats. I'm still getting, like, I'm still having a boiled egg. I don't have avocados right now, but when I can get avocados again, I'll do an avocado a day or an egg a day. I'm doing that. When I cook something that I think needs butter, I'm still doing the grass-fed Kerrygold butter. That stuff is so freaking good. But I'm not doing dairy. Well, I've got cheese, okay? I've got a Vermont sharp cheddar right now. But like yesterday I had 4 slices, then I had that issue. Today I had 2 slices, and I don't want to waste the cheese. I love cheese. But I'm going to slowly, I'm not going to stop eating cheese, but it will be few and far between, and that will be the dairy that I get. So I'm going to say goodbye to sour cream, which I love sour cream. But I'm going to try to stay away from dairy, and I'm still going to stay as far away from carbohydrates as I can. But if I want a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, I'm going to allow myself a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, because that's something that I only get once or twice a month. So that's not going to hurt anything. But there you have it. That is why I have not felt like putting out videos. It's just because my body has been doing this. And I have been a little cranky at times, and it's not a hangry thing. I'm actually good about that, because the intermittent fasting is fantastic for me, and I've learned to listen to my body. I don't eat when I'm not hungry, and there's no emotional eating. I'm not hangry at all anymore. But I get cranky because when I go to look at my recipes or go to say, what am I going to make for the week, and I go to my favorite things, I'm like, oh, my favorite things were loaded with rice and potatoes, and I can't have rice and potatoes. And so I've got to rethink totally how I cook every week. And so that's what's made me a little bit cranky. So, but other than that, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm super motivated. Matt's walking with me, and he's still eating sugar and carbs, but he has taken his sugar and carb intake from here to here, so he's doing fantastic as well, and he's helping keep me motivated. So, because I would never just get up and just walk and stuff by myself, because I'm just not gonna do that. I'm sorry. But anyway, that's where I've been, and let me know if you're dieting and how it's doing, or if you've made a lifestyle change like I'm doing, what you're doing, and let me know down below. And take care of each other, take care of yourself, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.